Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? There's nothing too good for a girl that's so true. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? I bought you a fur coat for Christmas, a diamond ring, a Cadillac car, and everything. Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? Greetings, peeps, and welcome to Music Elements Online. I'm your host, Dr. Tim Hendrickson, and I'll be with you for the next several weeks as we go through exploring the elements of music. You can read about me through the online syllabus. Let's kind of get to know each other as we go along. But you're going to find that I'm a pretty laid-back guy. I'm not very intense when it comes to things like, schedules and assignments and so forth like that, except I do need you to do them, and we do need to follow the schedules. So just, let's work together. I'm sure everything's going to be just great. There's always a bit of confusion at the beginning to any semester, and of course, this has been no exception. So, but just understand, I'm a really patient guy. I am very laid back, very understanding. So if things don't go, just according to the letter, we will get through. We will not penalize anyone for these glitches that are going on. So let's talk a little bit about how our course works. Essentially, Elements of Music is a beginning music theory course. Now, that may not mean much to any of you, but for those of you who may have been studying music before, or you might even be a music major, music theory is something that every music student has to take. And essentially, it deals with the mechanics of music, how music is constructed. So we're going to be learning about things like notes and note names and the musical staff and symbols and, like I say, the mechanical aspects of music, how music fits together, how it is designed, and how it functions. We will also be talking about some of the more artistic and creative sides of music, but just understand this is how the course is designed. This is an asynchronous course, which means that we have no physical or virtual regular scheduled meeting times. Okay, we're all online. So what does that mean for you? It means that your progress is entirely up to you. So the amount of work you put in is up to you, and your grade and your progress are pretty much solely dependent on how much effort and time you put into the course. I do provide things for you to help you along, such as things like the detailed course calendar, so that you know when things start and when things end. I also will provide you with regular announcements, and emails will be sent out to the entire class containing important information. Having said that, though, let me make something clear. I can't force you to read emails. Just like I can't force you to read the book, to do the assignments, to turn them in. None of that is, I can't stand over your shoulder and say, hey, you got to get this done. This is up to you. The work and turning in the work, submitting assignments, that's all on you. So if you don't do it, then you have only yourself to blame. Once again, you're responsible for your own work. And so as such, you're responsible for your own progress in the course and ultimately your grade. we have two sides to the story here. We have an online textbook side, which, by the way, you are going to have to purchase the online textbook if you have not already done so. You purchase a textbook access code either from the bookstore, or you can purchase it directly from the publisher. Once you have that access code, there are instructions printed on it as to how you log into the textbook. Note that I do have a link provided for you on our e-learning site. But as I said, these two sides to the story. There's an online textbook side, and on the online textbook, all of our assignments, okay, all the readings, all the exercises, all of the worksheets, the quizzes and the exams, those are all found on our online text. And we're going to be going through that in just a little bit later in this vid. And then we have our our e-learning or D2L side of the story. And that contains several useful components, such as the detailed course calendar, which I had mentioned, modules, which contain descriptions of each of the sections of our course. We have the attendance drop box. I'll be talking about that a little bit more in detail later. And we have the discussion topics, which are found on our e-learning site. So all of these things are components that work together, but you have these two separate sides. Just to understand the assignments, the work that you're going to be doing, such as the worksheets and the quizzes and even the exams, the readings, all of that is found on our online text. The only thing that is not on our online text is the attendance, regular weekly attendance module that you will record each week, and our discussion topics. Also, we have something called a composition project. That is also going to be on your e-learning site, although I will have external links for you to follow for music composition software packages that you can utilize. But that's something that we'll discuss more in detail the further we get along and the closer we get to it. Also note that on our e-learning site, we have news and announcements. These news and announcements things I will put these out there periodically. If there are any substantial changes to our schedules or to the course, that's where you're going to see them. And as always, I email these same announcements to you, so you'll get them regardless. But I can't force you to read the email, so please do check your email on a regular basis. Okay, so let's take a look at navigating around our e-learning D2L site.
Okay, so let's take a look at our D2L e-learning site. When you first log on to e-learning, you will have all of your classes listed if you have online classes, and sometimes even face-to-face classes are listed. So you just simply click on our course, which is MUS 100 Wn810, and you'll see the course logo and so forth. Once you click on that and you open our course's homepage, this is what you will see. On the homepage, you have the announcements. This is where I will provide news and information pertaining to our class, and often I will copy this and send it to you in an email, so you get both an email and the online notification of that's on the homepage. So if you've had e-learning classes before, this works very much the same throughout. You have at the top here all these tabs: the course home, content, grades, activities, communication, course tools, and so forth. So the majority of the items that you're going to be working with will happen on the Contents tab. So let's go ahead and click on that and bring that up. And here you can see all of the items that are pertaining to our course, the course syllabus, which is broken down into instructor info, required materials, attendance, and grading. And then a link to our online text. So when you click on this and you click on this link right here, it takes you to a new page, which is our online text. So let's just explore that just a minute. When this loads, you can see we're right at On Music Fundamentals. And that should open in a new window so that you have literally, you can flip back and forth from our online text to our e-learning site. If you have difficulty doing this, let me know, and I can put you in touch with IT people that can help you out. For now, we're going to close this out because we'll be looking at our online text a little bit later. For now, though, just so you're aware, that is where you can get a link, or rather whether you can have access to our online text. Then the next thing would be our detailed course calendar. This has everything that we have through our course. Everything is laid out by sections. You can see there are a total of 7 sections. Each section has a start date. That's all the way here on the left. You can see that. And an end date, which is essentially the due date. But the reason I don't say due date, folks, is so that you understand that you have this time frame to work with. You don't have to wait until January 18th to turn in, for example, the first section's work. You could turn it in today if you have it done. So just understand this is the time frame that you have to work in. Then we have a module entitled Useful Stuff. Now, at present, not a lot of this is going to be useful to you. As we go along further, though, you may find it useful. One of the items here is a link to something called musictheory.net. This is an external site that allows you to utilize several different tools. We'll just access it now for the time being so you can see. This Tenuto is not something that you're going to need. This is an app that you can download for like an iPhone or an iPad. The theory lessons is really what you're going to want to do eventually. But until then, what I would encourage you to do is go up here to Lessons, this tab right here. Click on that, and you can see these are all of the components, all of the elements that we're going to be studying in our course. And the only reason I offer this is it's just another way of looking at the material. For example, the staff, the clefs, and ledger lines, this is something that you are going to be learning about through our online text. And if you come down here to the bottom of this page, and you see the little play arrow here, you click on that, you just keep clicking on that, and that takes you through every single one of these points that we're going to be exploring. And again, it's just a matter of it being displayed to you, presented to you in another way. It has nothing to do with your grade. If you do this or don't do this, it's not going to affect your grade. It's just another tool for you to use, and you are always welcome to use any external resource tool you wish to help you along. I do not consider that to be cheating. I consider that to be smart thinking, equipping yourself with as much knowledge as you can. So please feel free to use any internet tool you wish to help you along. So the rest of these items on here will be more pertinent to you the further along we get into the course. Now let's take a look at the various modules as they pertain to our sections. So here on the left, section 1, for example, if we click on that module, you can see here that it has a start date of January 8th, and then it has a due date of January 20th and end date of January 20th. This, folks, is not the assignment. This is just simply telling you what the assignment is. It tells you what the section contains. The assignment is found on our online text, okay? So whether you click on these modules or not is really up to you. This does not satisfy the requirement of doing the assignment. This is just telling you what the assignment is. In other words, it's like another form of a calendar. It has the due dates listed for you, the start and end dates for you, and I do this for this reason. If we go back to the course home page, and you look in the lower right-hand corner, you can see stuff that's, for example, work to do, It says attendance week 1, attendance week 2. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And it has laid out upcoming events. These are items that are due or when they are due. So don't confuse this calendar, okay, with our detailed course calendar, which is on our contents page. But I just wanted you to be aware these modules do not contain the assignments themselves. They contain descriptions of each section and what you will find in each section, and it also tells you the due date. Same thing with the exams. For example, the final exam only tells you when it starts, when it's due. It does not contain the exam. All of the exams, quizzes, worksheets, and so forth, those are all on our online text. The only thing that is not on our online text that you are required to do are the discussion topics. And one of those has been, the discussion topics in your attendance. One of these discussion topics you've already, many of you have already participated in, and that is, of course, introductions. So when a module or a discussion topic becomes available, you will be notified and you will be able to participate in it. And again, you can see several of you have already done so. Because this view is a student view, I may not be able to, I'm already subscribed. Good. Okay. So you can see all of the submissions from your fellow students in the class, and you can read them. And I ask you that you respond, just a short response to 2 of our classmates, or you can even respond to my posting if you wish. It's not a requirement that you respond to me, but to 2 of our classmates. And this will stay open. This opening discussion of introductions will stay open until, not exactly sure. I believe it's till the end of the month. So, but anyway, do take part in our discussion topics. So the discussion topics and the attendance are the only things that you're going to need to do on D2L, other than, check for announcements, things like that. And D2L e-learning is where I will generate much of the email correspondence that I send to you. You also have the option on our e-learning site of contacting other students, and you can see through something called the class list, you can see all of the other students in our class, including me, our instructor. So you can email everybody if you wish, or you can email individual students. That is up to you. If you click on this instructor tab, there I am, and you can email me this way if you wish. So there are several ways to contact me, but here is another way. Okay, so let's go back to that contents tab for a minute, just so you can see once again how it's laid out. Everything is here on the left. These are the modules. Once again, the modules do not contain any actual work or assignments. They are just simply descriptions. And then if you come down here to the very end, the composition project, this tells you what the composition project is, and it has the parameters. We'll be discussing this in more detail as we get closer to the deadline. Okay, so hopefully this describes for you a little bit about how our e-learning site is laid out. Now, let's talk about recording your attendance. So if we go to the activities tab up here, this is the 4th tab over, click on that and click on assignment drop boxes. So the only assignment we have in the assignment drop box is the attendance. If you click on that, all you have to do is use this text box. So it says here, this is where you'll record your weekly attendance. Simply enter the message present in the text submission box below, hit submit, and your attendance is recorded. That's all you have to do. So you click in this box, you type in the word present. Doesn't matter to me whether you do all caps or whatever. That's all you got to do. One word. Click submit, And it says here, the submission folder only allows one submission. Are you sure you wish to submit? And you just click yes, and your attendance has been recorded. Then you can click done if you wish, and you can see here that there is one submission that is your submission. And then what will happen is once I have your submission recorded, you will see that you get 10 points from this submission. I can't do that right now because I'm in student view, but if you take a look at the grades, and the grading scale is not accurate right now. It's going to be updated very quickly, but you can see here there's like weekly attendance for all kinds of attendance entries, and these are not active yet. The only ones that are active right now are week 1, week 2, and week 3. The rest of these are not ready yet, but they will be. But you will see over here under the points, you'll see that you get 10 points every time that you log in for and submit a present message for those assignment drop boxes, and that will be included in your grade. All right, so once again, content tab is where the majority of the things are that you are going to need. I will add an attendance module so you don't have to go up to the the activities tab necessarily. But that is one way that you can do that. I should also mention at this point that you do not need to worry for attendance for this first week of class, because that ends as of the production of this video today, the January 11th. So you don't need to worry about those. I will record everyone's attendance for this first week. But from this point forward, please do take the time to go into our e-learning site, go to the activities tab or the attendance module, and follow the instructions. Just hit or type in present in the submission box, and your attendance will be recorded and you will receive the grades. So that's about it for our e-learning site for now. I will have other useful tips for you as we go along, but I encourage you to explore the e-learning site, continue to look at it, and always, if you see an announcement, usually when, let's go back to the course home, usually when you see a, when I post a news item, which is essentially an announcement, you'll get an email. I also always copy the announcement that I post and send that in the form of an email, including links. You can see here you have some links that you can click on, such as the course syllabus and the detailed course calendar, and then our first discussion topic. So usually these links are embedded into these announcements, just so you know these things are there. Okay, let's get back to our introductory vid. Okay, so hopefully you found that informative. Now, the other side, of course, is our online textbook. So let's take a look at that. How do we navigate around our online text? Okay, now let's take a look at our online text. Now, I see here we're starting at the homepage of our eLearning D2L site. Just understand, go back to the Contents tab, go to the Online Text module, and click on the On Music Fundamentals link, and that will bring you directly to our online text. And this is what you will see when you open that first page on our online text. This has all of the units associated with it, sections and classes. So let's just get right into it. When you click on any of the sections, you can see here that each one contains a section overview. You are welcome to read the section overviews if you wish. There are accompanying videos that you can click on to help describe what's happening, but it is not necessary. Let's talk a little bit, though, about navigating around the textbook. You can see here these orange arrows. These are the, what you would expect. They navigate you forwards and backwards depending upon, where you are in the text. at any time, if you want to go back to that opening page, just click right up here where it says dashboard. Just click right on that. That will bring you right back to the beginning page of our text. The section headings don't really tell you much other than a description of what's going on within that section. The classes are where the lessons are. So if you click on this first class, you can go through the introduction if you wish. It just simply is talking about what you're going to be learning. It also explores something that I would like to introduce to you right now, something called the virtual keyboard. If you click on this link, you will notice you have a virtual keyboard that comes up. And you can play that virtual keyboard. If you find you're having a stressful day, you might enjoy just going up and down the keyboard with your mouse. So I leave that up to you. But do notice a couple of things about this. If you hover over the keys, notice that that little window tells you what note you're playing and what octave you are playing and what key number you are playing. So just be aware. This is something that will become very useful to you the further we go along. Okay, so that's the description of what's going on and why you need to learn the keyboard. So I encourage you to read these things. And then if you click for, next, going forward on our text, here we have a description of what's going on. Again, you are welcome to watch the vid, to listen to the descriptions that are going on. All of this is open to you. But let's just show an example of some of these little helpful tools that are embedded in your online text. For example, every time you see an icon like this, the little speaker, if you click on that, it's asking you a question or telling you something. In this case, it's telling you that pitch 1, the first note that you hear, is higher than 2, the second note that you hear. And then the next example. Pitch 1 and pitch 2 are the same. And then in this example, pitch 1 is lower than pitch 2. Now, I bring this up to you for a couple of reasons. Number one, while it is a good thing to be able to distinguish between pitches, there are people who are unable to distinguish between high and low pitches or the difference between pitches. If you happen to be one of those people, don't worry. That does not mean that you can't complete the course or that you're going to fail the course. Just understand that it might make some of the course a little more difficult for you. But if you cannot tell the difference between a high pitch and a low pitch, it's not going to knock you out of completing the course. It's just something that is helpful and useful as we go along. It is something that you can train yourself to do, but there are people who have conditions which prevent them from hearing different pitch frequencies. We used to refer to that as tone deafness, but we of course now know that that is not a sign or symptom of deafness. It is just simply, in most cases, it is a neurological, some type of neurological disorder, or perhaps it could even be damage. We never really know in those instances. So again, it is a good thing to be able to distinguish between pitches, but not an essential one. Here we have that virtual keyboard again. Anytime you see this icon, you can click on it and that virtual keyboard will come up, and they will also give you the option to close it if you want it out of the way. So I'm going to let you explore this on your own, but just understand this is what your textbook does. It has many, many useful hints, many, many useful tools. And then don't forget that you also have that useful tools module on our e-learning site that you can also use. Again, that is the same stuff being displayed there. You notice here letter names on the keyboard. If you play these keys, it shows you what the note is. Doesn't matter where you are, and you might find that some of them don't work, and that is usually attributed to your browser history. If you clear your browser's cache memory, usually that takes care of it. In some cases, it does not. If you experience any difficulties like this where you're not able to hear a pitch, let me know and we will tell the folks at C4E. Now, here, that C4 and D4, which is not sounding up here for some reason, we don't know why. It is sounding on your virtual keyboard, and it has been my experience that even if notes don't sound on examples like this, they will always sound on your virtual keyboard. Okay, so yeah, I encourage you to explore your text in this manner. You can just simply click through pages after pages after pages if you want. I have to stress, though, that if at any time you want to go back and see something, click on this link right here, right next to the words dashboard. That brings you back to that initial page, and you can click on to any of the sections that you want. Now, I'm going to go back to our e-learning site momentarily. You'll notice that this opened up in a brand new window, so you can click back and forth between our e-learning site and our online text. If I go back to the e-learning site and I click on the Contents tab and I go to the detailed course calendar, Section 1, right, began on January 6th and is due for completion by January 18th. Now, let's go back to our online text. Section 1. The keyboard. It contains these 3 classes: the keyboard, note name recognition, accidentals, and the octave. This is just section 1. All of this is due by January 18th. You will notice that the second class contains letter names and key groups, half and whole stops, and class number 3 contains accidentals, other accidentals and enhancements, and the octaves. Don't worry if all of this is sounding foreign to you. It will become clear the more you delve into it and the more you get into it. I will also be providing some lecture videos that will help you through this process. But take a look at what happens underneath all of this. Notice these check marks: practice worksheet for the keyboard, and then you have a quiz for a pitch and a quiz for the keyboard. Let's explore these just for a second. If you click on Practice Worksheet, Keyboard, it brings you to this page. It says you have 3 attempts. And this is not something that is going to affect your grade if you bomb out on all of these, but you do need to do them. Everything that is included in our online text has to be completed by you. If you don't do it, you are shortchanging yourself. So please do everything that's being asked of you. If you go to preview the quiz, and this is just for purposes of demonstration, it's asking you, from the choices below, select the pitch that corresponds to the highlighted key. Now, you wouldn't be able to do this, right, unless you knew what a keyboard was. So this is why you want to read through all of that material. I happen to know what this is, but then I'm a professional musician. So when you click on things and it asks you what these things are, you need to be able to answer them to the best of your abilities. Now, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to just highlight the answers that I know to be what they are. Now, if you come down here to the very end, you could say next. And notice how it has these 3 answers that I've done. And you could say submit all and finish. Now, let's just do that just for the sake of argument. Okay, so it's telling you what notes are correct and what notes are incorrect. Okay, so this example right here that I purposefully answered incorrect to show you the difference between the two. Now, when you come down to the bottom this time, it shows you which answers you got correct, which answers you got wrong, and you have this idea of starting a new one. So you have another chance to go back and do this again and improve your score. And this is true of any of the worksheets, the practice worksheets. The real quizzes, I say real quizzes, they're all real quizzes, aren't they? That's a little bit of a different story. Now, once again, I'm going to go all the way back to the opening page. I'm going to come down here and just quiz pitch, okay? And it says here you have 3 attempts, and you do. You preview the quiz. And again, it's the same idea, okay? You have multiple choices. You click on the microphone. It says click the speaker icon, or excuse me, not microphone, speaker. Click the speaker icon and listen carefully to the 2 sounds. It's going to ask you which of the 2 sounds is lower. Sound 2, the same, or sound 1. So let's just experiment. So being the person that I am, I hear sound 2 as lower. So sound 2 would be my answer, and I would click submit. And notice how it's highlighted in green. That's telling me that I'm correct, okay? And then you can always tell the correct answer is sound 2. Okay, so hopefully this gives you a description of what to expect when you complete quizzes. I can't stress enough this idea of going back to the opening page to navigate from. You can always use these arrows up and down if you wish, or left and right, depending upon where you are. But also understand one more thing. This is where the assignments are. This is where the worksheets are. This is where the practice quizzes are. This is where the exams are. This is where the quizzes are. So all of this is on our online text, nowhere else. This is not on e-learning. You access it through e-learning, but you don't complete them through e-learning. Now, let's talk a little bit about grading and how it is displayed to you on our online text. Now, I can't give you a complete demonstration of this because grades really haven't been submitted yet, and I can't really show you any other students' grades. All I can show you is an example of what you could see. So when you click on this gradebook icon, and yours might say My Grade, it's going to bring you to a page that looks something like this. And so I'm in this view, I am a student, and so it is just showing me what assignments I have either done or have not done. And you'll notice all of these are zeros, right? Don't pay attention to the due dates for this one because obviously this is from a few years ago. But this just shows you your score. It'll show you your percentage. In other words, what percentage of the course and assignments you completed, and then the letter grade. Then if there is any feedback, and there generally never is from me, but if there is any feedback, it will appear there as well. And then the contribution to the course total, that's kind of a cumulative of what you've done so far. And this is for every single assignment, quiz, and exam that you complete, including the practice exercises, including all of the quizzes, including all of the exams. So your most accurate grade for the course with respect to the assignments on our e-learning site, assignments on our text, can be found here. Once assignments are submitted and grades have been finalized, then they will appear on our e-learning site under grades. But please understand that that takes a great deal of time because they have to be transferred. So it's not as accurate or as up to date as what is on our online text. So if at any point you have any questions about your grade for the course, all you have to do is email me and I'll be happy to share that information with you. Okay, let's get back to our introduction vid.
Okay, so hopefully all of that was pretty self-explanatory and relatively painless. So let's talk about some other things with respect to our course and your responsibility. Let's talk about attendance. as I mentioned earlier, this is a virtual course, right? This is all online. This is an asynchronous course. And that means that we don't meet on a regular basis. All of the work is up to you, which is why I provide these detailed course calendars so you can see when things begin and when things end. So even though we don't meet together as a class, we still follow a schedule. I try to give you at least 2 weeks, right, for each section in order to complete. So you should have plenty of time. But my advice is please don't wait until the last minute to begin something. Your attendance is solely dependent upon your own engagement in the course, okay, and in the course materials. When I see that you are logging on, when I see that you are completing assignments, and I'm alerted each time you log on and each time you turn in an assignment, that's your attendance, right? Also, when you log on to the attendance module on our e-learning site and you submit present, that's you being engaged in the course. So remember that you will need to log in to record your own attendance, right, each week. And it doesn't matter which day of the week you do this. And by the way, the first week's attendance already taken care of for you. I don't worry about that. But from this point on, from January 12th forward, you are going to need to log on and submit an attendance record just by saying present. You only do one per week. That's all you have to do. And you'll have from Sundays, each Sunday from 12:01 a.m. to the following Saturday at 11:59 p.m. to do that. You can do it on any day of the week, but you can only put one submission in per week. Kind of makes sense, I hope. Okay, so with respect to grades, the most, as I said a moment ago when we were reviewing our online text, the most accurate and up-to-date description of your grade is found on our online text. And your online text is, though, it's not your final grade, okay? It's not the end-all, be-all grade. I would think of it more as a way of you checking your progress, how you're doing on the course. It could say that you have an A, it could say that you have an F. The reason I say to you that it's not the end-all, be-all is I look at the whole picture. I don't just look at what's going on with your assignments. I don't just look at that aspect of your grade. I consider everything. If you're trying, if I see that you're putting in an effort, if I see that you're communicating with me on a regular basis, if you're having issues or problems and you're communicating with me and you're saying, hey, I need help with this, that is being engaged in the course, and that is going to earn you an A. So even if you're bombing everything, but you're trying, I don't penalize you for trying, okay? I don't penalize you for messing up. I will grant you every inch of space I can so that you're successful to the course, okay? So please, if you've been worrying about this, please don't. Please relax. This is not that difficult. And certainly not that intense. You're going to do fine. So once again, if you are engaged in the course, you're completing assignments, you're participating in the online discussion topics, you're emailing me with any questions, you're logging in your attendance, all of that. If you're doing all of that, logging onto your textbook, you're gonna do just fine. So, but if at any time you are concerned about your grade or your progress in the course, or you just simply have a question about any of the materials that we've discussed, email me and we will get you taken care of. As far as my office hours go, as you can see on the syllabus online, I am not in my office every single day. In fact, this semester I'm only at Delta a few days a week. You're always welcome to drop by, and even if my door is closed, go ahead and knock on it. It doesn't mean I'm not in my office necessarily. But the best way to get in touch with me is to email me and say, hey, I need to talk to you one-on-one. We can do this either virtually through Zoom or WhatsApp or some other type of online service, or If it's necessary, I can meet you face to face in my office and we can discuss it privately. But emailing me ahead of time and telling me that you need to do this will ensure that I set aside time just for you. If you just show up, there's not much I can do. So one more thing about communicating with me. I do not respond to emails on the weekends unless it's a situation like what we've had, where we've had so many glitches and it's just been absolutely necessary for me to. So typically, here's what happens. If you email me after 4 p.m. on a Friday, you're not going to hear back from me until the following Monday. Otherwise, I try to answer your emails within 24 to 48 hours if at all possible. And of course, this is borrowing power failures and internet outages and things like that. So just please do be patient. And I will get back to you as soon as and as quickly as I possibly can. But the best way to get in touch with me is email. If you call my office, you can leave a voicemail, but understand, I only check my voicemail when I'm in my office, and I'm not in every day of the week, particularly this semester. So it's very important that you email me. That's the best way. And again, allow 24 to 48 hours to respond. Remember, this isn't the only course I teach. I got several students and all of them need attention. So I do the best I can and I will get to you, I promise. So I hope this has been an informative vid for you. There will be other lecture vids as we go along, videos that help to explain the concepts that we're learning. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to enjoy the course, and I always enjoy reading your discussion topics and reading your emails. So if you have comments, if you have questions, shoot them my way. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, folks, so that's about it for this vid. There will be other vids, again, as I say, and just keep an eye out for those, watch for them. You'll receive emails with links to those vids as they become available. Have a great semester. I look forward to getting to know each of you. Take care. See you soon.
I'm a sentimental sap, that's all. What's the use of trying not to fall? I have no will, you've made your kill, 'cause you took advantage of me. I'm just like an apple on a bough, and you're gonna shake me down somehow. So what's the use? You've cooked my goose, 'cause you took advantage of me. I'm so hot and bothered that I don't know my elbow from my